Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So coming back to the topic that is scheduling algorithm. So in this session we are going to cover first and the basic algorithm that is first come first serve. So we'll start with the introduction part. After that we will also cover its numerical question that is very important for your college level examination and your competitive examinations. So, as its name implies, first come, first serve. That means the process that enters the ready queue first will get served first by the CPU. Okay, it is also known as FCFS. It follows the principle FIFO, that is first in, first out. You should also note that the first come, first serve scheduling algorithm process is straightforward and very easy to implement, and also it always follows preemptive scheduling as well as non preemptive scheduling algorithm. Okay, so एग्जाम में बहुत बार ये पूछा जाता है कि फर्स्ट कम फर्स्ट सर्व इज preemptive और non preemptive, so you should know that first come first serve is both preemptive and non-preemptive. We have discussed its definition in the last lecture. And one more important point here is, as there is no consideration of process priority, it is an equitable algorithm. Equitable algorithm, that means all the processes are equal for every resources here. There is no priorities, there is no priorities given to any process that are in a queue or in a waiting queue. Okay, this means that whichever process enter process the ready queue first is executed first. Let's take an example here. Let's say there are 5 people in a queue in a bank. They want to meet the manager of the bank. Okay, let's say person 1 जो है वो सबसे पहले क्यू में ऐड हो गया था, तो सबसे पहले बैंक मैनेजर उन्हीं को सर्व करके यहाँ से एग्जिट दे देंगे. आफ्टर दैट सेकंड पर्सन, थर्ड पर्सन, जिस क्यू में this sequence में the processes are entered in the ready queue, they are executed in the same manner in case of first come first serve algorithm. Okay, the disadvantage of using FCFS is that it has long waiting time. Let's say the process P1 wants to talk to manager for 10 seconds, P2 for 30 minutes. Okay, so waiting time for other 3 processes is very higher in this case. Its characteristics include implementation is very simple. Here we have an example. We will solve this numerical question with some smart tricks. So implementation is very simple here. It does not cause any casualties while using the algorithms. Okay, no priorities are given to any process. Let's take an example. Here we have 5 processes. There is no priority given to any process. Every process is equal here. It adopts a non-preemptive and preemptive strategy. We have discussed this point. It runs each process in the order that are received, and arrival time is used as a selection criteria. This point is very, very important. Arrival time is used as the selection criteria here. So here, what is the meaning of selection criteria? So what is the meaning of selection criteria? The process that we want to select at the very first point will be selected on the basis of the arrival time. Okay, so here we have an example where 5 processes are given. Their arrival time and burst time is also given here. ओके, सो पहले जान लेते हैं कि अराइवल टाइम, बर्स्ट टाइम, ये चीजें होती क्या हैं. So arrival time is nothing but it is the time at which a process entered in a queue. Arrival time is the time at which the process arrives in the ready queue. And burst time is also known as CPU time of the process. It is the unit of time in which a particular process completes its execution. So let's solve this question. In this question, always remember 3 points are given. सो फर्स्ट कम फर्स्ट सर्व एल्गोरिदम में सबसे पहले हमें देखना है कि रेडी क्यू में विच प्रोसेस हैज अराइव्ड फर्स्ट. सो हियर वी हैव टू चेक द अराइवल टाइम. सो अराइवल टाइम 0 and 0 for process P3 and P4. But remember one point, the process that is written here first will be served first as per the first come first serve algorithm. So we need to draw a ready queue here. It is also called Gantt chart. Okay, here at point 0, process P3 entered in the ready queue. Okay, now burst time tells us how much time, for how long it wants the resource. So it wants a resource for 4 milliseconds. So from 0 to 4, it process P3 is using the CPU. Correct? Next point we have is process P4 at 0. So we need to write process P4 here. Process P4 wants the CPU for 7 seconds. So when we add 7 and 4, we will get 11. Okay, so we are done with two processes. Next we have is arrival time is 2. After 0 it is 2, that is process P1. So for P1 the burst time is 2, that means 11 plus 2 is 13. After process P1 it is P2. Okay, so for P2 the burst time is 6. So 13 plus 6 is 19. And at last, we need to write process P5. Okay, we need to write the process P5 for 4 seconds or milliseconds, whatever is given in the question. So 19 plus 4 is 23. Okay, so I hope everything is clear till now. This is our Gantt chart. Correct? Now, one more important point you need to note here is, here we have completed the first step of creating the Gantt chart. Now, let's write here the completion time, that is CT. So, what is the completion time of P1? P1 gets completed at 13. After P1, it is completed at time 13. Process P2 at 19. P2 at 19. Process P3 at 4. P4 at 11. And P5 at 23. So this is what? This is the completion time of every process. Now in question, sometimes they ask to find out the completion time. So this is the question. They will ask you find the completion time of process P3. So you need to create Gantt chart first, then find out the completion time of P3. Okay. Next, they can ask you to find the turnaround time. So turnaround time is what? Turnaround time is nothing but it is the total time from arrival to completion. From arrival, let's say process P2 arrives at 2 and completes its execution at 13. So between arrival and completion, the time is called what? The turnaround time. So it is completion time minus arrival time. Okay, so turnaround time, write down its formula here. So 13 minus 2 is 11. Then we have 19 minus 5, 14. Then we have 4 minus 0 is equals to 4. 11 minus 0 is equals to 11 and 23 minus 7 is equals to 16. So here we have our turnaround time. Okay, this is 14 and 11. Now, one more important formula they can ask is waiting time. So, waiting time is nothing but it is turnaround time minus burst time. So, we have the values of turnaround time, okay, and we also have the burst time. So, 11 minus 2. 11 minus 2 is equals to 9. 14 minus 6 is equals to 8. 4 minus 4 0. 11 minus 7 is equals to 4 and 16 minus 4 is equals to 12. So this is nothing but the waiting time of every process. Okay, so waiting time, they can ask you about what will be the waiting time of process P2. So you need to follow all these steps and find the value 8. Okay, I hope everything is clear. Also, they can also ask you about the average waiting time. So average waiting time is what? Addition of all the waitings divided by total number of processes. So ये हो सकता है 9 plus 8 plus 0 plus 4 plus 12 divided by 5. That is 33 by 5. That is equals to 6.6 units. So this is what? This is the average waiting time. So इस तरीके से क्वेश्चंस एग्जाम में पूछे जाते हैं कि you need to find whenever in the examination they will ask you to find the average waiting time, then at first you need to find out the Gantt chart. You need to create the Gantt chart. With the help of Gantt chart you will be able to find the completion time and turnaround time and waiting time. These are the 4 steps with the help of which you can find out the average waiting time. So all these formulas are very important. When they ask the average turnaround time, so you need to add all these values 11 plus 14 plus 4 plus 11 plus 16 divided by 5, that is equals to 11.2 units. Okay, so I hope everything is clear to you. So thank you everyone for watching this session. Good luck.